What's up, guys? David, the Smash fan from Chimino Podcast here, and I'm here to talk about the bonus chapter that we got for the manga ReLife. So, ReLife ended last year, I believe, and the final volume, which is the 15th volume, came out, and it came out with a bonus chapter, has an epilogue and a prologue of the events that happened in the main story. So, this is actually really cool because it gives us even more closure of what happened to all of the characters. So if you remember at the end of the actual manga, you finally see Kaisaki and Hishiro working for ReLife, and they meet each other, drinking, and they remember each other, and they kind of get together. Well, not kind of, but they do. So the first part of this bonus chapter is Kaisaki, Yoake, I think that's his name, Hishiro, and Onoya drinking together at Kaisaki's house. And so what happens is, I believe this takes place right after Kaisaki has made contact with Oga's brother and is going to start the ReLife with him. So they're there drinking and just having a good time, and then we have Yoake say, we're going to leave, you better get some rest, you may not have times to meet together, meaning Kaisaki and Hishiro. They won't have time to meet together as adults often because they're going to start the ReLife again the next day. So they finally get together. Like, after they leave, he freaking Kaisaki's like, I've endured so long, and kind of pushes her to the ground and doesn't do anything yet. But Hishiro says, I'm not a high school girl anymore, and I never told this, but I'm going to tell you now, like, I love you. And they kiss, and it's implied, that they spend the night together, which is cool. Like, I'm glad that they showed this progress and that they're ready to take the next step romantically in their lives. What I didn't expect from this chapter is that it shows Yoake and what's her name, and Onoya walking from that apartment, and they're talking. Onoya, throughout the entire manga, she's always been like, I want to spy on them, I want to hear what's going on, and so she's like, oh man, I want to hear what's going on, and he's like, no, we're not gonna do that. And so she jokes to Yoake and says, hey, should we be all lovey-dovey too? And just, sing in her joking way. And then we get this inner monologue which is something that everyone has always probably already suspected, that she does have feelings for Yoake. And she's saying, even if I said something to him, if I can't confess to him in real life or with all my effort, he would just think of it as a joke. And so she was thinking, I'm never going to do this. And then he kind of blurts out, I feel jealous sometimes, because she says you expose your bare legs in that skirt in high school, and you were kind of flirty with some guys, and it really hurt me, and it was hard to endure. And that's when he's basically says, you're dense actually, because you didn't realize the feelings that I had for you. And then we find out something that I guess it wasn't in the main story, and it was only in an extra bonus chapter in, I think they said, the 12th volume, that has a backstory, what happened before Yoake and before he started doing the actual ReLife position that he's in right now, where he had I guess Onoya called into the helpline, and to be anonymous, she called herself A-san, and asked the guy who on the phone, who was Yoake, to refer to him as Y-san. And so what we find out is Yoake did realize that when Onoya joined, that this was her, this was Asan. And it's funny, they're kind of doing this back and forth, and he tells her, yeah, I actually do love you, and then kisses her, and he gets really aggressive, pulls her in close and says, oh, do you want to be lovey-dovey now? And she's like, no, we can't do this here. I thought Y-san was a gentleman, but you're a sadist. And he's like, oh no, you love it. And just little banter things, really good. And so that's the first part of the chapter. And then the second part is we see a wedding, and we look at it, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, okay, this is a misleading one, because you're looking at it you're thinking it's going to be Onoya and Yoake, or it's going to be Hishiro and Kaisaki, but no, it's what I thought. It's Oga and Kazuomi. So it's their wedding, and you see all the old characters that are there. They're in high school. I forget her friends, I think Honoka, and then the two friends that are always with her. And you see that Kaisaki Onoya, Yoake, and Hishiro were all invited to the wedding. And the reason for that, why they're there, is because actually Oga applied to ReLife. And this is hilarious because you see you see Yoake and you see Kaizaki there, just like, what the freak is going on here? Why is he here interviewing for this position? And they find out that it was because of Kaizaki helping his brother out that made Oga want to join the company. And so because he started with them, and he's the person that since Kaizaki is the one training Oga, and since they built this rapport and this friendship, he invited those four to his wedding. And even Kaizaki even gets to speak about it. He speaks about, you know, how Oga is and all the good stuff he is, and that he's also thick-headed. Why am I studying today so much? He's thick-headed, but he's such a great guy. And here's the coolest part that I loved about this. So they take a picture at the wedding of all the main characters in the story, and it's really cool because it's reminiscent of the graduation picture that they took at the end of high school. And you see this in the manga, and before we get to that, we have Oga already starting his ReLife with whoever he was assigned to, because you see him come in with his high school uniform. And then the funny thing is they're talking about, like, you know, I've reached my limits and I don't know what to do. And then Kaizaki says something. He says you know, instead of like thinking about other people's happiness, how about you think of yours for once, or if you consider yours? And as Kaizaki says that, Oga's like, I swear I've said that before. And you see this little flashback, and they're like, oh crap. And he's like, yeah, I have said it before. I absolutely said it to someone. Why can't I remember this? Also, like, why can't I access case 001 and 002 from the branch? And he's like all starting to ask all these questions, like, just don't worry about it. Go visit your wife. You know, she's worried about you. And he accidentally says her first name, or Kaizaki does, calls Oga's wife Karyu, which is her first name. And he's like, what? Why'd you call her that? It's like, doesn't matter, just go. And so basically what's happening is he leaves, and they're just laughing about it. And not Oga, but Yoake talks about, like, man, there'll be a day when we're gonna have to take out the files for Kaizaki from their hidden place in the warehouse. And I don't know if he means, like, to tell Oga that it was Kaizaki who helped them throughout, or what. It's gonna be weird because his wife, so Rena, can't say anything. She can't, like, know about this, and so it'll be kind of weird if Olga gets to find out but she doesn't. But the way that this chapter ends, this bonus chapter ends, is you see the picture side by side of the graduation picture that Kaizaki has on his phone, and then you have the picture of them at the wedding. And so it is really, really cool. Like, I'm so glad that they had this bonus chapter, because I think there was enough closure in the actual ending, but this one just does it even more. And actually, it does look like the girl Honoka, that she did choose someone. At least it looks like in one of the pictures in the graduation period, because I think he's holding her hair. And it's the guy with the shorter hair that covers his eye. I can't remember his name, but yeah, it was a great chapter. I'm glad that we were able to get a little bit more to the story. And yeah, so let me know what you guys thought about the chapter, if you liked it, or if you didn't like that they had to give more information. Let me know in the comment section below. So thanks so much for watching. This is Dave the Smash Fan, and I'm out.